Opening an old family scrapbook, black and white photos of Marines in olive drab uniforms emerge, their faces etched with youthful determination and war's weariness. For baby boomers and Gen Xers, these images are a portal to the stories of fathers and grandfathers who spoke of Guadalcanal, a grueling campaign in the Solomon Islands, from August 1942 to February 1943, marking America's pivotal shift against Japan post-Pearl Harbor. Beyond strategy, Guadalcanal is a tale of extraordinary courage. In sweltering jungles, facing relentless rain, disease, and a fanatical enemy, the Marines, many just out of school, fought with unyielding resolve. Through muddy steppes, desperate charges, and unbreakable brotherhood, they transformed a forgotten island into a symbol of American fortitude. Inspired by the Pacific, this narrative honors their resilient spirit that reshaped the war, leaving a legacy of overcoming adversity that inspires us today. From the moment the 1st Marine Division's boots hit Guadalcanal's coral beaches, these men, led by the steadfast Major General Alexander A. Van de Grift, displayed courage beyond tactics, touching the core of human endurance. Thrust into a brutal environment as hostile as the Japanese, they faced dense jungles where vines snared like traps and humid air clung like a second skin. Malaria lurked in every mosquito bite. Dysentery struck without warning, and torrential rains turned the ground into a quagmire that devoured gear and sapped strength. Yet, in this crucible of suffering, their extraordinary bravery shone brightest, refusing to yield, channeling isolation into fierce determination to hold and fortify Henderson Field, the campaign's linchpin airstrip that blocked Japanese air superiority and safeguarded Allied supply lines across the vast Pacific. Without their tenacious grip on this muddy runway, the enemy could have bombed Allied convoys at will, stalling the island-hopping strategy and prolonging the war's brutal toll. What set their contributions apart was their audacious operation amid near-total isolation. After naval setbacks left them stranded with dwindling supplies and no immediate relief, scavenging whatever they could, maggot-ridden Japanese rice or captured weapons, the Marines pressed on with patrols deep into enemy territory, hearts pounding as they navigated underbrush, ears tuned to the slightest rustle, signaling an ambush. These reconnaissance missions, often by small squads or lone scouts, showed reckless disregard for personal safety, gathering critical intelligence on enemy movements, relaying coordinates to artillery via whispered radio calls or scrawled notes, despite knowing discovery meant torture or death. This daring disrupted Japanese reinforcements and provided the strategic edge to hold defensive lines, enabling Allied aircraft from Henderson to strike enemy logistics, weakening their ability to sustain prolonged offensives. Van de Grift, with calm foresight, fostered this bold adaptability, urging his men to turn the island's treacherous terrain, steep ridges, crocodile-infested rivers, fog-shrouded valleys into natural fortresses, where they dug trenches, rigged grenade traps, and stood vigil through endless nights, fingers hovering over triggers, awaiting banzai charges that tested human resolve. In these moments of isolation, Marine courage shone through countless small yet profound acts, forming the backbone of their war effort. Picture engineers under constant sniper fire, repairing Henderson's runway, patching bomb craters with hand-hauled coral, backs aching and brows slick with sweat, ensuring wildcat fighters and dauntless dive bombers could take off to save countless lives, or signalmen climbing swaying palms to string communication lines, exposing themselves to enemy spotters, maintaining links for coordinating defenses and calling in naval gunfire. Their willingness to face danger permeated every rank, from privates volunteering for listening posts far beyond the perimeter, huddled in foxholes, straining to hear foes amid jungle cacophony, to officers leading by example, sharing rations and rotating sentry duties to stave off exhaustion. By standing firm against overwhelming numbers and environmental assaults, the Marines not only held a vital base, but dealt a psychological blow to Japan, proving American willpower could outlast fanatical resistance, forcing the enemy to divert resources from other theaters and paving the way for Allied dominance in the Pacific. At the heart of the Marines' legendary contributions lay their mastery of close-quarters combat, where raw courage turned potential routs into triumphs of will. As men like Lieutenant Colonel Merritt, Red Mike Edson, and his 1st Raider Battalion hurled themselves into battle with near-mythical ferocity. Edson, a compact figure with an iron gaze, embodied audacity, directing defenses on exposed ridges, dashing through bullet and shrapnel storms to reposition machine guns and rally weary troops, his voice cutting through the din with commands that fueled renewed vigor, ensuring the perimeter held against relentless assaults threatening to engulf Henderson Field. His calculated recklessness, balancing his men's lives against strategic imperatives, repelled superior forces and sparked a wave of heroism. With ordinary Marines following his lead, charging enemy lines with fixed bayonets and grenades, clearing bunkers in merciless hand-to-hand melees. No tale of Marine valor is complete without the saga of Gunnery Sergeant John Manila John Basilone, whose nocturnal heroics epitomized the blend of ingenuity and guts defining the Corps' impact. As Japanese infantry surged under darkness, Basilone single-handedly manned multiple machine guns, hands blistering from hot barrels as he dragged ammo belts through mud, pivoting between emplacements to lay down fire that felled hundreds, shouting encouragement amid exploding mortars and gunpowder smoke. When ammo ran low, he braved open ground to fetch more, pistol in hand, engaging enemies in close combat and using his weapon as a club when bullets ran out. His stand, halting the advance and boosting nearby units, proving one Marine's daring could anchor a flank and prevent a catastrophic breach. Basilone's heroism, earning the Medal of Honor, extended beyond that night. He trained recruits with the same intensity, sharing battle-honed tactics, amplifying the Corps' effectiveness and passing on courage's lessons. Yet Basilone was one star in a constellation of audacious Marines, whose contributions wove an unbreakable defensive tapestry. Lieutenant Colonel Lewis B. Chesty, Puller, a gravel-voiced legend with a pipe clenched in his teeth, led the 1st Battalion, 7th Marines, orchestrating defenses with aggressive counterattacks, personally leading charges into enemy positions to disrupt their momentum, his frontline presence. A deliberate risk, turning potential collapses into rallying points, where Marines fought with renewed fury, using rifles to improvised explosives to hold the line. Puller's mantra, "We're surrounded," that simplifies the problem, captured their bravery, seeing encirclement as a chance for all-around fire, enabling disproportionate casualties and control of key terrain. Likewise, aviators like Captain Joe Foss, flying from Henderson, showed aerial daring, downing multiple Zeros in dogfights despite damaged planes and low fuel, ensuring air superiority that protected ground troops and enabled critical resupply. Innovation under duress highlighted Marine contributions as they adapted scarce resources with confounding boldness. Facing shortages, they crafted Molotov cocktails from fuel drums and bottles, hurling them to create walls of flame, or rigged tripwires with captured ordnance, turning defense into lethal traps. Corpsmen, unsung heroes, embodied this resolve, rushing unarmed into no man's land, dodging bullets to administer morphine and bandages, their daring under fire saving lives and keeping units combat ready. A reminder that courage encompassed compassion, as much as combat prowess. Through patrols, ambushes, innovations, and healing, the Marines shaped the battlefield, depleting Japanese strength and laying the groundwork for Allied offensives that hastened the war's end. The Marines' extraordinary courage came at an immeasurable human cost, each heroic act underwritten by profound sacrifice. Yet this willingness amplified their contributions, forging bonds of brotherhood that sustained the fight and left an indelible mark on military history. Thousands fell to enemy fire, tropical diseases, or ceaseless vigilance, buried in hasty jungle graves. Yet many showed quiet valor in their final moments. Wounded men refusing evacuation to stay with squads, passing ammo with bloodied hands, or covering retreats with fire until their last breath, ensuring comrades could carry on. Stories like Sergeant Major Jacob Vuza, a Solomon Islander scout, illustrate this. Captured, tortured with bayonets, and left for dead, Vuza chewed through bindings and crawled miles to warn of attacks, his resilience inspiring Marines to integrate local knowledge, enhancing intelligence and averting disasters. This sacrificial spirit permeated the daily grind, with Marines showing courage through endurance, sharing meager rations to keep the weakest fighting, or rotating watches to grant exhausted brothers brief sleep. Their mutual reliance creating a web of support, turning individual bravery into collective invincibility. In medical tents, surgeons operated by flashlight during blackouts, saving limbs amid screams, while stretcher bearers braved fire to evacuate casualties, often carrying two at a time on raw shoulders. Even in respite, Marines showed daring, singing raucous tunes or trading jokes in the mud, defying despair that could erode effectiveness. These less heralded acts were vital, maintaining cohesion and readiness amid attrition that reduced divisions to skeletons. Cooperation with allies underscored the Marines' heroic flexibility, working with Coast Guard members like Signalman First Class Douglas Munro, who, in a daring evacuation under heavy fire, maneuvered his Higgins boat to shield withdrawing Marines, absorbing bullets to ensure their safety. His posthumous Medal of Honor testifying to inter-service bravery, amplifying Marine efforts. By embracing partnerships training natives as guides, coordinating with Army reinforcements, and integrating naval gunfire, the Marines maximized impact, making Guadalcanal a proving ground for joint operations that defined the Pacific theater. Their sacrifices, over 1,500 killed in ground action, thousands more scarred by wounds, and illness secured strategic victories, depleting Japanese elites, shifting momentum to the Allies, and shortening the war, saving countless lives. Reflecting on Guadalcanal, the Marines' contributions form a profound tapestry of courage, where every daring patrol, improvised defense, and selfless act wove a pivotal victory, echoing across the Pacific and into history. Their legacy teaches that heroism thrives in daily choices to face fear, support each other, and innovate against odds, resonating deeply for World War II connected families, evoking memories of loved ones who embodied this spirit. In today's challenging world, the Marines' example offers invaluable guidance. Embrace calculated risks for greater purpose. Like Marines venturing into the unknown for intelligence or charging to protect flanks, we can tackle challenges with bold, thoughtful action, knowing progress demands stepping beyond comfort. Cultivate bonds of unwavering support. Their brotherhood, forged in shared hardship, reminds us that strong relationships in families, teams, or communities provide strength to overcome adversity, innovate and adapt in scarcity. By repurposing resources and turning disadvantages into advantages, they showed creativity under pressure can shift tides, applicable to personal, professional, or societal hurdles. Honor sacrifice through active remembrance, Commemorating their deeds ensures courage's lessons inspire future generations, urging us to share stories, volunteer, or stand for principles daily. Balance ferocity with compassion. Amid combat's brutality, their care for the wounded and alliances with locals highlight that true strength includes empathy, fostering unity in divided times. Guadalcanal endures as a beacon of marine courage, where ordinary Americans achieved the extraordinary, shaping a free world from the clay of sacrifice. Pause to reflect. How can we channel this unyielding valor today? Let their stories ignite action in you, for in honoring them, we keep heroism's flame alive for tomorrow.
Which was his heritage.